Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Victoria Nicole, but my friends call me V, and if you're here, you're my friend now, whether you like it or not. Today, we're going to be doing another cozy making and baking session. So today, I'm going to be showing you how to make this. I know what you're thinking. It's not exactly much to look at if you don't know what it is, but this is supposed to look like a shelf mushroom, of which there are many varieties. I modeled this one after a turkey tail mushroom and then another variety. I tried to go like sort of in between, but there's lots of different varieties of shelf mushrooms, and you can make yours look however you want. I saw a video about a week ago with these cute little shelf mushroom decor, and I thought I would try and replicate it and see how it goes for me. And then we're going to also be baking a apple and pear crisp because I thought it was a very fall-esque dish, and it's really simple, and you can pretty much just use any kind of apples or pears that you want and it turns out good, like no matter what. It's really hard to mess up. If you'd like to choose your own adventure today, you can tune into the baking, which starts at this time, or you can tune into the making, which starts at this time. Either way you slice it, there will be 2 projects at the end of this video that hopefully will make your fall a little bit more cozy, and I hope that you enjoy this video. So settle in and let's do some cozy crafting and baking together. So here's a recipe that I use for the apple and pear crisp, and this is actually a combination of 2 different recipes that I'll put down in the comments. So this recipe calls for brown sugar, and considering I didn't have any, I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to show you how simple it is to make your own. It tastes way better too. All brown sugar is regular sugar mixed with molasses, and depending on how much molasses you put in will determine how dark your brown sugar is. So a little bit of molasses equals light brown sugar, and a lot equals dark brown sugar. You just mix away until you've got this beautiful color, and then you're done. So first things first, you gotta cut up those apples and pears. I used a combination of opal and envy apples, and for the pears, I chose Bartlett. I would recommend skinning your apples and pears first because I ended up with some skin in my crisp that wasn't super palatable. However, I did go back and take some of the skin off, so it wasn't too bad. Next, you'll want to toss in some lemon juice and then add about 4 to 5 tablespoons of maple syrup for sweetness. Next, you'll want to toss in all of your spices and cornstarch, a splash of vanilla, homemade if you've got it, and give that a good stir. Next, we'll assemble the crisp part of our apple and pear crisp. You'll want to measure out some oats. And I'm using old-fashioned rolled oats here because they hold a lot of moisture very well without becoming too soggy. I'm not really sure if you could use quick oats, but you might be able to get away with it. Then you'll add some flour to the oats and also your brown sugar. A fairly southern amount of butter, some more warm spices, and a dash of salt. Next, you'll want to mix that up with the best utensils that money can't buy, your hands. And it's going to get messy. Make sure you're working this crumb mixture really well until it looks like this. Then we're going to set out our preheated cast iron and add another generous serving of butter to grease the pan. Pour in your apple mixture and spread it around to your liking.
Then we'll add our crumb mixture on top, making sure to place it evenly. It's okay if there are a few gaps because it does spread while cooking. Lastly, of course, we'll pop that baby in the oven and give it a good amount of time to brown up.
If you have a lot of excess apple and pear peels, feel free to compost them or share them with your bunny family members. Shout out to that bubble in particular. This is the finished product, and if you don't think this is beautiful, then I really just don't know how to impress you. This apple and pear crisp was super simple and it turned out great. Serve it with whipped cream or vanilla ice cream and enjoy. And now, let's get mushy. For this craft, you'll need a hot glue gun sticks, a piece of parchment paper, thumbtacks, and paint. You'll want to start by creating a semicircle on your parchment paper and then filling it in completely with hot glue. Once it's completely filled in, while the glue is still hot, insert your thumbtacks. The thumbtacks will make inserting the mushrooms into your wall a lot easier. If you don't want to use tacks because you don't want to put holes in your walls, you could probably also use like putty or another type of sticky-ish item to hang these. But I use tacks because I don't care about holes in my walls. Don't tell my husband. So I focused a lot on trying to create a nice shape of mushroom. I didn't want to go too thick, but I wanted to add like squiggly lines on the outsides. So I did that for all three. And once they were dry, I just started painting the underside of them. I didn't put a lot of detail into the underside because you're really not going to see it. I just went for an antique white and I tried to get it as even as I could. And now onto my favorite part of this project, the details. As I mentioned earlier, I modeled these after turkey tail mushrooms, which have a really pretty ring composition on the tops. So I opted for some really cool or warm earth tones, and I went in and painstakingly tried my best to make these beautiful ring patterns that nature created. For some of the finer details, I used acrylic paint pens, which work really well for this sort of thing. And there you have it, guys. The shelf mushrooms are complete. I hung them up in this little corner of my room because I thought they would look nice next to my plants. And I am actually really happy with how they turned out. They look super realistic. If you don't know what a real mushroom looks like, and if you don't get too close, but I really love them. They were super simple, a little painstaking, but overall great fun. Thanks for joining me in this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.